Hi, and welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. I'm glad you could stop by to see what we're all about. Today, we're continuing a series that we began a couple of weeks back, helping you who are young in your lead guitar experience to sound better now. We build on what has come before in the previous two lessons and add a little bit more today to help you expand your ability to sound better now. And it's also a lot of fun. All right, so let's just get right to it. But wait, press that red button down there in the corner and you'll be subscribed to Outsmart Your Guitar. Ring the notification bell and you'll be informed when new content is posted, which is usually around once a week or so. Down in the description, you'll see a link to patreon.com Outsmart Your Guitar. If you go over there and subscribe at one of two levels, you'll be helping support my continued efforts to provide you with high quality lesson material to help you learn, play, and grow to be the guitar player you desire to be, to play the music you love. Sound good? All right, let's get to it. All right, first things first. A new progression is just two chords, A minor and F. But we're not going to play this F. We're going to play the club grip F. So basically, it's all the notes of the F bar chord, but your first finger is going to come back to the second string and play the first fret. And then you're going to mute the high E, and then your thumb will come in and mute the low E. So you just need that. Now you'll notice the O, that refers to open. And that suggests a G because three of the notes are part of the G chord, but we're not actually going to play it, we're going to suggest it. So here's how you count it. 1 and 2 and the open, 3 and 4 and the open. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right? So now, pause the video and practice this for a couple minutes, smooth it out, put it to a metronome to further smooth it out, then put it into your looper, and this will be the progression you'll be playing over today. All right? When you're ready to continue, press play. All right. You got your progression into the looper. Now let's play over it, but we're just going to do a little review with the pentatonic minor scale all by itself. Okay? So, hammer-ons, pull-offs, grace notes, phrasing, absolutely do your phrasing. You don't want to throw that out, and you want to just use everything you've been learning up to this point, right? So, 3, 4. Something along those lines, right? Just enjoy the process, getting comfortable with how the scale sounds over this progression. You can hear a marked difference between the other progression and this one, and that's the whole idea. So the way you play over the progression is going to be affected as well, because the progression influences how you think about what to do over the top of it. That's something else I want you to understand too. So, pause the video, take 5 minutes or so, get comfortable with this, and then when you're ready to continue, press play. Now, we covered this a little bit before, and so I want to make sure that you understand it a little bit better here. Now, you'll notice the blue note, because that is the blue note, the sharp 4 or flat 5, depending on how you want to look at it. Right? So what you do is you add this note in. Okay? So set up the progression and add that note in. Slide into a note. Like that. So just have a little fun with it. And so pause the video, spend about 5 minutes or so just adding the blue note in where you think it'll sound good. Then when you're ready to continue, press play. Let's expand things a little bit. We're going to expand up into the second position a little bit. And basically, you'll play through the first position up to here, move up 2 frets with your first finger on the 3rd string to 7, and then your 3rd finger at 9, move over to the 2nd string at 8 with your 2nd finger, and 10 with your 4th finger, and do the same thing on the 1st string. And then 1st finger, back to 1st position. Now, the option is, come up here, you can go to your 1st finger here. On the way down, go to your 2nd finger, then your 1st finger, lead with your 1st finger back to the 1st position. Okay? So, let's play. Ready? Here we go. Slide. Right? That's the idea right there. And so work with this a little bit. And so pause the video, learn this, walk through this, get comfortable, and then when you're ready to continue, after doing this for about 5 to 7 minutes with the backing track, getting more comfortable with it, go ahead and press play, and we'll keep adding goodies here. All right? All right, we've added the blue note. You know it's here, and you know it's here, and now you got it here at the 11th fret on the 1st finger as well. So you play through it, transition up, 1st finger. So you can hit this with your 4th finger. 3rd finger, transition back to 1st position. Okay? So now, then, after practicing that for a little and getting it smoothed out, put it to the backing track and play. right? So go ahead and pause the video and play through this for 5-7 minutes or so and get comfortable moving up into that second position and adding that blue note up at the top on the 11th fret of the first string. Okay? Then, after you've done this for 5-7 minutes or so, restart the video. We got more. I want to pause here for a moment and talk about something I did during the last demonstration. What I did was this. So what that is a lick that is then repeated but done an octave higher. This creates a thematic kind of continuity. And it also can heighten a little bit of excitement by playing a lick a second time, but an octave higher. Another thing you can do is play a lick, then play something entirely different, and then come back and play that same lick again, and then play something entirely different after that. So you're playing a lick, adding something in the middle, coming back to that lick and playing it again, the exact same place, the exact same way, and then going to an entirely different place after that. This too creates a thematic continuity. Let me demonstrate the idea. So we got our progression going. Okay, so what I did there was, there's the thematic lick. Then I did that. Now I come back to the thematic lick and play something entirely different the second time. Or whatever I did, but that's the idea, right? Play lick, play something else, return to the lick, and then play something else. These two ideas, where you play it here, if I can play it right, that's one aspect of creating a thematic element. Then you've got, right? This gives you a sense of continuity. This will also help you sound better than you are, because at the end of the day, the reality is that it isn't about how many licks you know. It's about what you're able to do with the licks you actually can play. So if you take a lick, as I did here, and play it in one place and then play it an octave higher, or take a lick, play it, play something else, come back to the lick, play it again, and then play something else after that, you create these thematic ideas that give a sense of continuity. And you can actually create a whole solo doing just that. You don't want to do it too much in the solo, but you can start with a thematic idea, play it, then play a little bit else for 20 seconds, and then come and play another thematic idea, and then go off on something else. Then you can actually return to the first thematic idea towards the end of your solo and play that to get out, right? So that you can then hand it off back to the singer or hand it off to another instrumentalist. Pretty cool, huh? So go ahead and pause the video and come up with your own ideas. Now, if you need to rewind and listen to all this again, go ahead and do that so it gets clear in your head what you're actually being asked to do right now when you pause the video. Create your own thematic ideas. Make them easy. They don't have to be complicated, right? And Play them over the progression, just as I did a moment ago, to make sure that they work. Adjust them a little bit, get them to where they sound pretty good, right? Take 15, 20 minutes to work this out. Then, when you're ready to continue, press play. All right, now I'm going to show you something that I did when I was very young in my lead guitar skills. I think I was around 17 years old when I figured this out. I learned the pentatonic minor scale. Right? And I learned this. And I was like, oh, I'm really, going places now. But then I thought, well, what if I did this? Right? I thought, okay, so I'm just in the first position for the moment. And I thought, well, this is pretty cool. So I started to go for it, right? Like this. So I kind of did a little exaggerated to show you this is kind of what I was doing. Now, I learned it doesn't sound good all the time. So what I ended up doing was being more judicious about it, right? Like that. I mean, just basically went off and found out where it works, where it doesn't work, and tried to be consistent in how I made it work. Right? Now, you've got these extra notes here, here too, right? So all those notes, the blue note is one of them, but I'm not doing a blue here, right? So all those notes. And then you have, you can use all of them. I mean, basically it's everything. And so what these are, when you do that, is you're employing what's called chromaticisms, right? So using everything between point A and point B. There's a long chromatic run, right? So, yeah. And then, so you go for it, right? And try to be kind of judicious with it. Right? So the object there is just to use them when and where you think they'll work. That's the whole idea. So pause the video and play for 10 minutes. Have some fun with this. Really just kind of open it up, right? And see what you can come up with when you use all the red notes. Not all at once, but you know. Have a good time with it. Enjoy the ideas being suggested by the inclusion of these notes. Then, when you're ready to continue, press play. Now that we have a new progression, I want to bring in something else that you can do now, because the Dorian mode isn't going to work with this progression. Not really, because we have an F chord now. So we have just the A minor and the F, and that's the progression. It's the F chord that now is dictating what other things are possible in this particular progression. So we have the pentatonic minor, and we have the blues scale, and then we also have all those extra notes, right, that we just went over a moment ago. But there is another scale that you now can use because of the F chord. I know this is getting a little bit dense, but these are things that you can do right now. They're not complicated. It's actually pretty easy when you think about it. Okay? So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Okay, our progression is A minor and F, right? So now it is the F I want to talk about, right? It's right here at the 6th fret on the 2nd string, and it's on the 8th fret of the 5th string, and you can see it in the diagram there. So here's what you have. Okay? So here's what you're going to do now. You're going to play the pentatonic minor scale, and you're going to add that one little extra note. And it will sound something along these lines. 3, 4. Okay, so pause the video and take a moment to go over this and just get real comfortable with it, because it gets a little more interesting as we move forward. So when you've done this for about 7 to 10 minutes, just have a good time with it. Then press play, and we'll keep going. The F note that you've just been playing is actually borrowed from the pure minor scale, which is also known as the Aeolian mode. All right, so the Aeolian mode, or the pure minor scale, also includes the two-tone that you played in the Dorian mode. So the only difference here is that instead of playing the 6, you're going to play the sharp 5. And that's the only difference. You're taking the 6 from the Dorian, let's see, Dorian here, right? Now, instead of playing the 6, what you're going to do is play that F, the sharp 5. That's the only difference right there. And you do it here, right? So that's the only difference. Okay, so now what you do, practice that, and then play over the progression, and you might sound something along these lines. 3, 4. So pause the video, practice the scale, get it comfortable, then kick on the looper and the progression and play over it here in the first position, and just have a lot of fun with it. Take about 7 to 10 minutes to really dig into the potentials. Again, you can play the pentatonic minor and add the color tones, the B and the F, as you wish. It's up to you how you want to do that. And that's the beauty of those extra notes. They're color tones that you can use or not use at your discretion. All right? So 7 to 10 minutes, then restart the video and we'll keep going. Okay, we brought in the second position just as we did before with the Dorian mode. Here we have the Aeolian mode, or the pure minor scale as the case may be, and notice the extra F here at the 10th fret on the 3rd string. Notice also you've got 5 notes on the 3rd string to play as well. So, how you make that transition? Remember your 4th finger here. 1st finger, move up 1 fret to 5. 2nd finger at 7. 4th finger at 9. Slide up to 10. Stay on 2nd and 4th. 1st, 2nd, 4th. Now here, 4th, 3rd, 1st, then 2nd, 1st, 4th, 1st. Now, come to here, you've got another transition point. Move up 1 fret to 6. Then you've got 8 with your 2nd finger and 10 with your 4th finger, putting you in position. You can do it the same way backwards. Shift 1 down. And then on the 1st string, move up 2 to 7, 8, 10. Okay? So you can rewind and review those to get the fingering down and, watch that again and get it clear in your head. Okay? So play through the scale now with the bits of the 2nd position, then put it to the progression. 3, 4. And you can just keep on going and going and going, right? And that's the idea. So pause the video and get this down in both positions there, and then go to town. 7 to 10 minutes, more if you want, and really explore what's going on. Okay, then when you're ready to continue, press play. You may be just a touch overwhelmed by all the information in this lesson, and that's okay. Take what you can from this lesson and apply it, even if you're just going to add the F or those little chromaticisms, right? That's all that matters. But here's what I want you to strive for. Add the hammer-ons, add the pull-offs, add the phrasing, add the F. Add the chromaticisms as you're able, and then add the B as well, right? And this is sort of what you're going for right here. 3, 4. just like that. Just take your time, play around with the ideas, get comfortable with them. You don't have to get it all at once. Take your time here. Spend 20, 30 minutes reviewing the things in this video. That's why it's good to take notes, right? And really getting yourself comfortable with the ideas being offered here. Because these are things you can do right now. Maybe not everything all at once, but you can do these things because they're not hard. And that's the beauty of this. And we're just in the first position. Where it gets more involved is when we start moving out of the first position. We did a little bit of the second position here today. But if we got into the third and the fourth and the fifth position, wow, it really becomes pretty involved and overwhelming. But that's only if you try to tackle it all at once, right? So take your time here. And then when you're ready to continue, press play. Wow, I know what you're thinking right now. That's a lot of information. Well, when you look at it as a whole, yes, you're right. It really is a lot of information. But take it slow. Do it one step at a time. Remember, I just introduced the F, and you learn to play with that. Then I gave you the B, giving you the rest of the Aeolian mode for you to play with that, right? Prior to that, what I did was I gave you the blue note, and then I gave you the chromaticisms. So pick one, work on that, and then pick the next bit and work on that. Pick the next bit after that and work on that. And then slowly blend them together as you go, remembering to keep your phrasing, to continue to work your hammer-ons and pull-offs, right? And your grace notes and slides. All these little elements contribute to making you sound better right now, because you can do all of these things right now. Maybe not at the same time, but each of these is something you can do right now. And that's the whole idea, to get you moving forward, doing these things right now, and then combining them to help you sound better right now as well. Okay? So, again, I can't stress it enough. Take your time. You're not in a race, and you're not competing with other players. When I was young, I figured it out. I can't compete with these guys who are better than me. I'm not even going to try. And I realized my journey is not their journey. And their journey is not my journey. So I chose my path, and I took it, and I walked it alone, because it is just that in one respect. It is a solo journey, no pun intended. But you get to share it with other players. You as a guitar player get to share it with a bass player and a drummer, maybe another guitar player. Learn from other players, absolutely. Bring into what you do things you get from them. Just as here, I'm giving you approaches and things that you can do right now to integrate into your playing, to help you move forward and improve right now, sound better right now. Okay? So this is why I always emphasize, take your time. Okay? Now, there will be other lessons in this series. They may be right away, but if they're not, I have other lessons from which you can benefit a lot. Okay? So, for now, that'll do for this one. And we'll see you soon.